Okay, let's unpack this. Few things generate as much immediate buzz as a new film from a director considered, well, a legend,
Mm.
especially one who seemed to have actually retired.
Right, exactly.
And then when that film launches in its home country with an almost unheard of level of secrecy, well, that just cranks the anticipation way up.
Cool, Evan, yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a specific review of one of those films, The Boy and the Heron. Our source here is Fraser Gray's review from the 67th BFI London Film Festival, written for Moviescramble. And our mission, really, is to go beyond just summarizing and pull out the key insights, the sort of overall picture this particular review paints for us.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, about this review is how it immediately sets the scene. It gives that crucial context. Gray grounds us straight away by mentioning Hayao Miyazaki's, legendary status.
Right.
Reminds us of those beloved classics like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. The review makes it clear that any new Studio Ghibli film is a big deal, but one from Miyazaki himself returning. Well, according to this review, that represented like the absolute peak of audience excitement.
And the way it was released in Japan, that Gray notes, that's truly unique, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
The review mentions they went with almost zero marketing, just a single poster and the most basic plot summary. That's it.
Wild.
Yet, despite this, radical secrecy, it immediately sold out screens.
Yeah.
And Gray points to this success alongside another pretty remarkable detail. It was the most expensive film ever produced in Japan.
Wow.
So that combination, extreme secrecy and record-breaking investment, it really sets a stage, signaling, as the review puts it, some lofty ambitions.
That's quite a contrast, isn't it? Secrecy and huge ambition. And within that ambitious frame, the review gives us the essential plot setup. So we follow a young protagonist, a boy named Mahito.
Okay.
Gray describes how Mahito moves to the Japanese countryside during wartime.
Ah.
This is after experiencing the profound loss of his mother. And that's compounded by his father remarrying.
Right, a difficult situation.
Very. And the core of the story, as described in the review, involves Mahito's kind of magical escape into various fantasy realms. And the review also gives us a really crucial piece of background. The film is based on How Do You Live?
Ah, yes.
Which is apparently one of Miyazaki's favorite childhood books that adds, another layer to understanding its potential meaning and themes.
And speaking of themes, the review highlights elements that feel both deeply personal but also like classic Miyazaki. Gray points to grief, friendship, and escapism as being really central to the film. But what stands out in the review is the emphasis on how these themes are conveyed. It's not through lots of heavy dialogue, but mostly through that visual storytelling that Ghibli is just so famous for.
Yes.
For anyone familiar with his work, the review suggests this approach feels, like coming home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Gray's review seems particularly taken with the visual storytelling itself. It specifically calls the hand-drawn animation the film's undeniable strong point.
The strong point.
Yeah, highlights it as a true standout. And the language Gray uses is quite evocative, suggesting that joining the characters on their journey through this animation feels warm and welcoming.
Warm and welcoming. I like that.
It's not just about seeing the world, apparently, but feeling kind of embraced by it.
That feeling of warmth and welcome seems to go beyond just the animation style, though, based on what Gray writes. The review notes that every single aspect of the film feels clearly thought through.
Right.
From the music, the score, to the specific visual cues used all the way through. Gray asserts that no one piece feels out of place here.
Meticulous.
That level of meticulous craft is definitely something, audiences look for and appreciate in a master director's work.
Exactly. So bringing all those pieces together then, the context of Miyazaki's return, that unique release strategy, the personal themes, the praised animation, and craftsmanship. How does Gray's review ultimately sum up The Boy and the Heron?
Good question.
Well, it's described as visually striking and affectionate. And it's presented as a fantastical piece of escapism cinema.
Okay, escapism cinema.
But maybe the most crucial point highlighted is the review's firm statement that the film is, and I quote, designed perfectly for audiences of all ages.
All ages. Interesting.
Gray seems pretty confident that both adults and children will be emotionally moved and will fully immerse themselves in those incredible fantasy worlds that are, Miyazaki's signature.
That's quite a promise. And for listeners eager to experience these worlds for themselves, the review does give the release dates Gray was tracking at the time. It was set for a UK release on Boxing Day in 2023, and the US release was December 8th. So already out by the time many might hear this. So we've just taken a deep dive into Fraser Gray's Moviescramble review of The Boy and the Heron. We've seen how Gray positions the film as this significant return for Miyazaki, rooted in a personal, cherished book, marked by that surprisingly secretive yet successful launch in Japan, despite its record cost.
Yeah, quite the story.
The review emphasizes its exploration of themes like grief and friendship through stunning, meticulously crafted hand-drawn animation, and ultimately concludes it's a moving, accessible piece for absolutely everyone.
Yeah, and building on that picture, Gray's review paints where this film uses these fantastical journeys to sort of grapple with deep emotional experiences like loss. It leaves us with something significant to consider, I think. The review really implies that animation and this kind of escapist fantasy, they aren't just distractions. They can actually be incredibly powerful tools for understanding complex human feelings. So it raises an interesting question for you, the listener, to maybe ponder. How might the sheer imaginative freedom of animation allow filmmakers to explore themes, maybe difficult themes that might be harder to connect with or perhaps feel more confronting in live action, regardless of our age?
That's a really good question. How does that medium specifically allow for that exploration?
Exactly.
It's definitely a thought to carry with you, whether you're watching this film or really engaging with any form of creative storytelling. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.